Hey everyone, welcome back to Travel Talk Podcast with Grant and Marisa.
We're back.
Today we're talking about something that impacts literally everyone when it comes to sort of, in particular when flying long distances. And today we're talking about jet lag. And
Yay.
I think some people act like it doesn't impact them, and I think they're a little bit full of it, right? Like I think jet lag. If you're flying like 8 hours or more, in particular, jet lag is impacting you some way, shape, or form.
Even going like 3 hours can have an impact.
It can. I think it's
just
less
enough to mess you up.
Yeah, but I think it's in particular you really start to see the signs once you're like in that 8+ range.
For sure.
When you're going, for us as an example, we're based on the East Coast of the U.S. So us flying to like Europe is probably the most significant sort of like first step, like in terms of like the distance wise, right? Us going to like London or whatever. We're pretty used to it now, but that will be the first step of us sort of it hitting us, right? Essentially, we want to talk about sort of things we've discovered through our travels.
How it affects us.
Yeah, what we've done wrong in the past, what we now do, and just general tips for how we combat jet lag during the flight, like when we arrive, all that kind of stuff.
If you've never done a longer haul flight before, a little bit about what you can expect and how you can prepare a little bit better.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to just dive in?
Yeah.
All right. So first we wanted to talk about how jet lag impacts us because we experience it a little differently. So we thought we'd kind of cover that first as a baseline, depending on you and your body and your personality, a little bit to what you might feel. So for me, I have more of the mental impact of it. The first day, I'm generally a little more anxious than I normally am, which is really saying something. I tend to be a little bit more cranky. If I'm going to snap at Grant, this is the day I'm going to do it. And I'm so sorry.
Right.
But that's kind of how it impacts me. I feel it a lot more mentally.
And then on the opposite side to that, I actually feel it more physically. So for me, it sort of manifests in, I'm always sort of an early riser, but it's sort of accentuated when we travel long distances. So I will wake up I will wake up in really early. So like, this
4
isn't
a.m.
like, not even, like, I feel like 4 a.m. is almost like...
You had a good night.
It's almost, that I would be almost happy with that. Like, there are times where, I know even in like Japan, I woke up at like 1 or 2 in the morning and could not go back to sleep. So that's the biggest impact for me, is that I will sleep fairly good for a short amount of time, like maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then I will be awake and nothing will let me go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Also, I find it a little bit more physically in terms of like, I'll have weird, like my appetite will be weird, or I'll feel kind of bloated and not hungry, and like that will just be out of whack for me.
Yeah, for a couple days.
And I know sometimes, like when we're traveling, we're excited and we're eating just for the sake of it because we want to try things. But I know in particular when we come back home, I'll often go to Marisa like, I do not want to eat for like an entire day. Like I am not hungry. My body feels gross.
Yeah, generally you'll cut out like breakfast or lunch and replace it with a smoothie for like the first week or two we're back.
Yeah. So it's just like, my body just feels weird, like with jet lag, more so than I think you just get kind of a little bit more mentally drained.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So now that we've kind of established how it makes us feel, what did we used to do?
Yeah, there's not too much here, but we've got a couple of things that we've written down here. When we used to arrive in a new country or whatever after a long flight, we would do that sort of thing that everyone tells you to do, was to push through until like 9 o'clock at night, like make sure you're up until like your normal bedtime or whatever, right? And in theory, that sounds great and makes a lot of sense, because I think you want to be on your normal schedule when you arrive.
You want to force your circadian rhythm.
But
to adjust.
We have found in reality that just never happens, because like I think a lot of the time too, like you're always arriving at a weird time in a new place, and whether that is super early in the morning, so you have to make it through the whole day, or you're arriving maybe later or whatever. But I think it's unrealistic to think that you're gonna be able to make it to your normal bedtime, at least on that first night.
Oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
And we would do this and it would just kind of wear us out. Yeah. And I think on that same vein, and this goes like, yeah, with the first thing, we would often schedule too much or try and do too much on that first day.
Yeah.
Walk like 20,000 steps, try and do a whole bunch of stuff.
Because you're excited, your adrenaline's going, you want to do all the things.
But in reality, we're just really tired and you end up dragging your feet and you end up sort of not enjoying that first day as much when you've loaded in too many things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was going to say, I remember the first time we went to London, we like went so hard that day to the point where I think it was a combo of like having sat on a plane for so long and then doing so many steps. My like hip got sore.
Yeah.
And then I was limping the rest
whole
of the trip.
Yeah, we pushed so hard because it was that classic thing of I think we had arrived at like 6 a.m. or something. And then our hotel this time was very strict on you can't check in until 3 o'clock. So we had to essentially just walk around London for, I think it was like 8 hours or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Why didn't we just go sit in a pub? Like, why did we just be like, we're going to go hang out here?
Yeah. So I think it was your first time there. And so we tried to do the whole, like, seeing all the sights in that first day. But, in reality, both of these things just made us even more tired physically and mentally.
Yeah.
That like we would then crash at the end of the night, but then we would still only then sleep for a few hours or whatever and then wake up out of whack. So doing that did not make us have a better night's sleep.
And it didn't make us have a better first day either.
No. So those are the things we sort of did wrong.
Yeah.
I think in the first like few trips that we did before we sort of became professionals at this. Right?
Yeah.
So that's going to lead into now what we now do to sort of make jet lag a little better. It's still going to exist. It's still going to impact us. But what we've figured out, little tips, things we do along the way.
Right.
And we'll split this up, I think, into two categories, like the pre-flight and flight, and then the arrival day.
Works for me.
Yeah. So what do we do pre-flight?
So a couple of things. The first is in the days leading up, we try and get a little bit of extra sleep. We might go to bed earlier. And depending on when our flight is day of, we'll try and get an extra nap in before we leave for the airport.
Yeah.
Especially flying from the East Coast to Europe, which is what we do most of the time. Our flights are often between 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, most of the time they're at the night, like, cause especially if we're going to Europe, which we tend to do more often than other places. So we have that whole day. So we want to keep it very low key, have a nap in the middle of the day. But in particular, like, make sure you have a very good night's sleep that night before.
Which can be hard.
It can because you're excited. Yeah. So I think like just trying to be as normal as possible in that lead up, like normal routine.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy like having late nights and stuff like the night or two before.
Keep it chill.
Yeah.
This is a weird one and I didn't write it down, but something I've done a couple of times is like I've previously channeled my excitement into like cooking or baking something before we go. And it almost always like I burn it or I like almost burn the house down because I'm so excited I'm not paying attention. So also don't do anything like that.
Yeah.
You don't need to. It's fine.
Yeah. I think the biggest one, and I think this actually is probably our number one tip for jet lag in general.
Oh yeah.
Is hydrate.
Yes.
Hydrate. So not only while you're flying, but in the days leading up to your flight.
Yeah.
We are pretty good about staying hydrated in general. You drink a lot by default.
Yep.
But what we do even more so, I would say maybe the day before I start this, we'll start taking things like liquid IV or electrolyte tablets in the lead up. So maybe once, even twice a day sometimes we do these.
Yep.
So it's just extra hydration and electrolytes that just comes in handy, and being well hydrated well before you leave for the airport.
Yeah, it's going to pay dividends. And also we bring empty water bottles through security, and then as soon as we're through, we get them filled and then start sipping that water so that we are as hydrated as possible, because we have now found out if you don't do that, it can go real badly.
Yeah.
So hydrate.
Hydration is just the key to most of these the issues you get, and it just makes it so much better. So because like things are going to be out of whack. Like you're not going to be sleeping the normal hours. You're probably not eating at the normal times.
Yeah.
You're all that kind of stuff. Even like the sort of the food and stuff you're eating either on the plane or in the airport, it's probably going to be not the best.
It's going to be saltier.
Yeah, salty in particular, fatty, salty, sugary, all that stuff can really mess up your insides. So like making sure you have just a lot of just water, water and electrolytes in your system is like the biggest takeaway I think we can give.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah. In the same sort of, we mentioned it very briefly just then, but eating in terms of what before your flight. So I would say even in the day before as well, eat a little lighter than you normally would. Don't try to be somewhat healthy. Like we're not going to say you just need to eat salads or whatever. Like that's unrealistic, or at least for us it is. Like we'll eat normal stuff, but maybe just like reduce your portion size a little bit. And then in particular day of, I think, like I've been at fault for this, like even more recently, I've tried to be better about it, is like, we go to the airport, we'll go to like a bar, eat like bar food and stuff at the airport, and like eating these big meals, like eating a massive burger or like chicken tenders or nachos, like all this kind of stuff, which sounds great because it's like, oh, we're on vacation, like, let's
go.
Yeah. And I think it ends up sort of just being like right at the beginning, you're kind of full.
Yeah. And a lot of what happens when you sit on a plane for 6 to 8 hours is bloating.
Yes.
And so that is not going to help.
Yeah, bloated. Yeah, that is like a key thing. Like sort of, I was doing a little bit of research, like figuring out what like jet lag is a lot. And it was like, obviously most of it is like your circadian rhythm being out. But when that is out, you're more likely to get like inflammation in particular. So inflammation's a key. So that causes bloating, that causes a whole, like makes you feel sick, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So inflammation and a lot of stuff, a lot of the time your diet impacts that, right? So
sure.
It's gonna make it worse when you get in the air, you're flying, you're eating, continually eating weird stuff. Just make sure like, the stuff you can control, like you can't really control your diet when you're on the plane. You're at their mercy of what you're eating, I guess, right? But
unless
like
you're in business class.
But like ahead of time, just pick some, lighter options, smaller portions, and just sort of, just control that before you go on the plane.
Yeah. And the next one is more of like a mental thing than a thing you can physically do. But it's something we've found really helps, and that's anticipating you are not going to sleep on the plane.
Yes.
Because sometimes what happens is you're like, okay, I'm here, I have a neck pillow, I've got my eye mask and my earbuds, and like I am gonna, even in this tiny little economy seat, I'm just gonna sleep. And then you do that thing where you sit there and you can't get comfortable and you get frustrated with yourself. It's the same thing if you have insomnia. You get frustrated that you're not sleeping.
Why can't I go to sleep?
Why can't I go to sleep? And then you're just going to get mad at yourself. And we found that just anticipate you're not going to sleep. Just make that choice in your brain. And then if you do get a couple hours on the plane, fabulous.
It's a bonus.
Yeah, but there's something about the difference in the mental state between trying to force yourself to sleep and being frustrated that you can't, and just being like, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I think
it really helps your mentality when you land.
Yeah, I think that was a massive one for me. Like, I've never really been able to sleep properly on planes, and that's forever frustrated me. And that frustration, I think, did cause more anxiety, did cause like more like just problems while you're flying.
Yeah.
And ever since I kind of like, all right, I'm not gonna sleep. And I would come prepared, like I'd have movies and TV shows on my iPad and like things ready just to occupy myself. I think I still kind of, I'll set aside time to like close my eyes and rest, but not really with the anticipation of falling asleep.
Yeah, and I'm generally better about sleeping on a plane than Grant, but I still try and make the mindset of, if I don't sleep, it's okay. And if I get a little bit, it's just a bonus.
Yeah, and I think something even like in our most recent trip too, I think I fell back into the like I'm anticipating going to sleep because last time we splurged when we went to Germany and got business class, lie flat seats, and because of that, it sort of lulled me into that sense of I will get sleep on this
Yeah.
plane, and you were fine. You
I
did actually
curled up
get
in a
sleep.
ball. I was out. It was amazing.
I barely got any sleep, like normal. And like, I was so annoyed, but I was like, this is my own fault. Like, I anticipated that I was going to go to sleep.
Yep.
And that is my own fault. But it was just interesting because I was like, I was anticipating it because I was being able to lie flat, but nope, I still could not sleep. And then I think the last one here, this is a more just how comfortable we are when we are just in economy is we always try to get just two seats next to each other. And little hack, a lot of planes will have right at the back of the plane where it kind of starts to like, go narrow in. You'll find like maybe 4 rows of seats that are just 2. And we've found that like it ups our like comfort.
Yeah.
Just in general, in economy, way higher than having to sit next to someone else.
Yeah.
So that not having anyone disturb you or wake, if you do fall asleep, no one's waking you up to get past you or
just the subtle discomfort because we're both very shy people. And so just knowing you're not having to be trapped next to a stranger for however many hours it's just like a little bit of mental comfort too.
And I think that is, I think, half of these tips right now are, while on the plane, just having as much comfort as you can and having that anxiety or stress or whatever being as low as possible. Because at least then you're not going to feel as tired from not, because on top of not sleeping, you don't want to be anxious and stressed as well, right?
Yeah, we want to bring that down as much as possible.
Yeah. So I think that's our sort of pre-flight and flight
Yes.
tips.
Yes.
So now let's talk about when we arrive.
Yeah, so we have a little ritual when we arrive. Once you get through, you've got your bags, you've gone through border control, immigration, blah, 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 blah. You've done all that. Most people, what is the first thing they're going to do? They're going to go to a bathroom. What we do in this bathroom is key for this first day.
Yeah.
So when we are at home packing our carry-on bags, we always put a fresh t-shirt, a fresh pair of underwear, and sometimes even a fresh pair of socks.
Sometimes, yeah.
Into the bottom of that bag. And so when we go to that airport bathroom, we change our shirt, change your underwear, even socks. We use the little Colgate Swisps. Is that what they're called? Wisps.
Yeah.
Do a little teeth brush.
Deodorant.
Fresh deodorant. And then sometimes we'll use like those shower wipes. I also have the Luna spray to wipe. And you can just kind of give yourself just
or at the very least, like get some water,
splash it on your face,
rub it on your arms, like, almost like a little shower.
Yeah, and just doing that little refresh. There's something about putting on a fresh t-shirt and fresh underwear that really, it's a little refresh. It just makes you feel better.
And sometimes we'll do this too. It depends on the flight, but we've done this before too. If we've had multiple legs, and like say like we just knocked out the biggest leg, like I know we've done. I think we might have done this on the way to like the Maldives where we went to like Abu Dhabi, and then after that, on that layover, we would do the refresh there because then we knew like, oh, there's only a couple hours left. Or something. Like, or we knew, like, I think we had to get on a seaplane and stuff. So, like, we didn't know how much time we had when we got to Mali. But, like, we knew, like, oh, in Abu Dhabi, we got, like, 3 hours. So let's go to a lounge or something and refresh there. So we would change there. So, like, if you know you've only got a couple of hours, like, maybe only 2 hours left or something, do the refresh at another spot. So it's not always when you land, but a lot of the time it ends up being when we land. But that refresh, it just gives you a bit of it just makes you feel better.
It just makes you feel fresher. It makes that feeling of, I need a shower so bad. It helps put off that feeling a little bit. So if you're in a situation where you can't get to your hotel right away.
Yeah. Because ideally, you just want to be able to get to your hotel right away. Like, if you're arriving after 3 or something, you might be able to push this off and just go straight to your hotel.
Yeah.
But if you can't, which is a lot of the time will happen, you have to wait or, like, go exploring or something before your room's ready. That just makes that being able to get through that day easier.
Yeah, it just gives you that little bit of extra comfort. Which kind of leads into early check-in is key. And this is really a you topic. Hi, Ellie.
This isn't always. Hi, Ellie.
Hi, baby.
You gonna come up?
Come on.
There we
There's
go.
her appearance.
There she is. Okay.
Hello, problem.
Once again, Ellie making her appearance.
We've talked
On the
about what her
videos.
nickname is.
She's got many nicknames, but
She has several, but she actually does respond to being called Massive Problem.
yeah,
She's totally blocking my
she's
face,
a
by the way.
massive problem.
You are a very cute, massive problem.
Yeah. So early check-ins. I'm just gonna keep going while Ellie is here. If you can, getting an early check-in is ideal because one, you could just go straight to your room and have a shower.
Yep.
Do all that refresh, but a better one. You know, having an actual shower and changing all your clothes
First
is
shower is
amazing.
life-changing.
But so having things like sort of status with certain hotels can definitely help in this regard.
Yep.
They don't always have it as a perk. Sometimes if you're a certain level, they will. It's sort of like guaranteed. But we've found that like we have status, like we have like gold status, which isn't the highest, but it's like a decent level status with like Marriott and Hilton. We found because of that status, they'll often have rooms ready for us when we get there, which is a nice little perk.
Yes.
But I think some places even give you the option.
She's licking my hand.
Some places even give you the option of purchasing early check-in. Like this happened in Norway, where we went to a Scandic hotel, and they were they charged for it. So we could have paid. I think we were gonna do it, but then they were even like, "Oh, we can up if you pay for an upgrade." That room is ready, which is probably a scam, but like we were fine. It wasn't that expensive. It wasn't that expensive. It was like $50 extra or something. So we upgraded, got a check-in, like because I think that the price they charged to early check-in was almost the same as upgrading the room. So we're like, let's just upgrade. Our room will be ready.
Why not?
So we'll always pay a little bit extra to get in. But I know some new like higher end hotels, like I know a lot Hilton stuff now with the app and stuff, you can sort of buy certain upgrades. And one of those sometimes is early check-in too. So like see if that's an option. Even message them ahead of time. Sometimes that works too. Like if you know like, hey, I know my flight is getting in at 9 a.m. Tell the hotel check-in people the day before or whatever. And then they might be a higher chance of you getting in early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that way you're not having to worry about like your bags. You can have that first shower.
Yeah.
If you need a little cat nap, you can just sneak that in.
We actually did do that in the Germany trip. We normally don't do the nap.
Yeah.
The day of arrival day nap, but we actually broke that rule and it actually didn't work out too bad.
No, it was fine because we knew we wanted to stay up a little bit later. So
Yeah, I think if you know you're going to stay up later, a little nap's fine.
Yeah. So the next part of the arrival is completely contrary to what we literally just said, but it's have an early night.
Yeah.
You're going to want to, especially if you're flying East Coast to Europe, and we just keep using that because it's like the most common thing we do.
Yeah.
So it's the easiest for us to explain because we do it a lot.
Yeah.
Don't anticipate that you're going to be out raging till 10 o'clock at night. I know most people don't consider 10 p.m. raging, but
It is for us.
it is for us. Just have an early night.
Yes.
Even if you can make it till like 7 p.m.,
Yeah.
you're doing great.
I would say like if the sun like not even like sometimes it might not be depending on the time of year, but the sun going down is a good indication. Like sometimes it's like 6 o'clock, but like that's not always the case. And like sometimes you're going like Northern Europe and it's like 4 o'clock or something. The sun's already down in winter.
Or in summer it's 10 or 11 p.m. and the sun's still up.
I think Norway was like that. Remember the sun was up really late when we were
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen. That's right. Yeah. So it's not always the sun, but I would say like get to like dinner time, have an early dinner, and then there's nothing wrong with going to bed early.
Yeah.
Because we have found that doesn't matter what time we go to bed, we're gonna wake up a few hours later.
Yep.
So like there's no shame in going to bed at a reasonably early time on that first night. A lot of people say like get right on the schedule of what you want to sort of be like your normal bedtime.
Yeah.
I think that first night is not in that equation. I think like you just need sleep. If you're tired, go to sleep.
Yep.
As long as it's adjacent to when you...
Your body is going to be weird no matter what you do. No matter how much you do this, your body's going to be weird. Just accept it.
Yeah.
Kind of in that vein, you're going to wake up during the night.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen at a weird time. It's okay. And one of the things we've found, and this is actually, I think, a newer thing we've figured out, is that sometimes, especially if both of us are awake, instead of like tossing and turning and trying to force yourself to go back to sleep, just get up for an hour or two. Read a book.
Yeah,
watch something. Watch an episode or two of TV.
I think we did this in Norway for the first time, so like a couple of trips ago. We were kind of just both sitting there getting frustrated that we couldn't go back to sleep. I think this was literally like, I think we had gone to bed at 6 and woke up at 10 or 11 or something. Like, I don't know about you all, but like, I feel like that first few hours feels like you've slept the whole night. Like, I'll wake up being like, oh man, that was such a good sleep. I can't believe I slept so well.
Yeah.
Look at the what? Oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's like 10 o'clock at night or something, right?
like,
and it's like, no, okay, that wasn't as good a sleep as I thought it was.
Yeah. So yeah, we found just let yourself be up for a couple hours, watch a couple shows, read a little bit, and then eventually your body's just going to get tired again.
It'll get tired again, yeah.
And you'll just go back to sleep. And it's so much better than fighting it. And will actually, getting up for that little bit will actually help you get back to sleep faster than trying to fight.
I think sometimes even too, we've like, if we've had snacks or something, we've sometimes just like had a little snack or something too. Like maybe we had a bag of chips or something in the bag and be like, oh, just like have something. Like it just like gets your mind sort of awake again, but then you'll fall back asleep. So it's, I think it's easy to fall into that like, oh, I'm just going to toss and turn all night until that. But, and I think we've had this a few times in other places. Like when the journey was particularly far, this was beyond the first night too. Like in the Maldives, I know my sleep pattern was out almost the whole trip.
We never really adjusted.
But because it was like, it was such a pretty place, I would often just wake up and just go like, look out the window. Like the weather was pretty bad, so sometimes I couldn't go out into the deck, but like looking out at the view and stuff, and just like sitting up and sort of taking in the view.
There was one night I think it was like 3 a.m. and we had like a glass of wine.
Yeah,
and it was really fun. It was like
it was like some nights were nicer outside. You know, we would just go sit outside and like get some fresh air and just like sort of
feet in the
embrace pool. Like, oh, like we're still on vacation in this pretty place or whatever.
Yeah,
like let's not like be frustrated that our body's out of whack, because of course it's out of whack. Like we're on the other side of the planet, you know.
It was great when we went to South Africa because we had to be up at 4 a.m. every day anyway. So our bodies were like, yes.
We had to like, if you haven't seen those vlogs in particular, like definitely go back and watch that series, because like we were waking up at 4 a.m. every day to go on these safari drives, which was worth it 100%. But it was actually amazing for jet lag, because I didn't really feel jet lagged that trip because we had to wake up at 4 a.m. every day.
And it's so much more, even you think you're just sitting in a truck, whatever, but it's so much more like mentally demanding than you think it's going to be. We were
exhausted at the end of the day.
We would often like come back from the morning drive, take a nap, get up, do the evening drive, have dinner, and go to bed. And like
we would be bad at like maybe 8:30 or something. Yeah. Like, and that sort of goes against normal advice of like, oh, don't nap in the day and all that kind of stuff. But we were so tired on this trip and we had to wake up so early that our bodies were out of whack that entire week anyway. We just had to embrace being out of whack. It didn't feel like it though. It didn't, because we were so tired that any chance we had to go to sleep, we took it and it worked. And we
I think the only time we really woke up in the middle of the night was when the hippos were having a party right outside our room, which was terrifying.
But it's... Some trips, it's fine to have your body out of whack and you just embrace it. You don't even adjust. Yeah. It's just like sleep when you can and that's it.
We're just going to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Another one here, like this is more in the lead up to before you go to bed. The last ones were about the sleeping part, but don't plan anything specific on that first day. Yeah. We've fallen for this a few times. Even the last trip, like we arrived and then we straight away got on a train and then like got the train and we were exhausted on this train, but I was like, we kind of needed to, because we arrived so early in Frankfurt that it made no sense, because we would have had to just like walk around the city or something before a hotel. So we're like, let's just get the train. And that was okay, because like at least we could kind of doze off a little bit or whatever on the train. But generally speaking, we try and do nothing on that first day. Like we'll walk around.
Yeah, I think, we'll kind of get a lay of the land near our hotel and at least familiarize ourselves with
get our bearings. Area. Maybe find a a pub or a restaurant or whatever and just like have a really slow, have a slow dinner or lunch or
Yeah.
whatever it is. What time were there?
We very consciously, because we have Fitbit watches, we really consciously try and keep our step count low. And if we see it's getting too high, we call it.
We're like, no, we're done.
We're done. Because, again, you don't want to overexert yourself and exhaust yourself. It's actually going to make everything worse.
Yeah. Yes, I think like just like
Hi, Ellie.
maybe have a couple of places, maybe pick a restaurant or something and like, hey, that's all I'm setting out to do.
Yep,
is
exactly.
going like I think in our last trip too, we got to Munich and we were like, let's just go to Hofbrauhaus and that's it.
Yeah, because we're like, this is a thing we know. We've both been there.
Yeah.
We understand what this is, what we're getting into, and we know we can just like sit for a while.
We can just sit there,
and
no
chill.
pressure. We can just have a beer, eat some food, and that's all.
Yep.
That's all that's on our plan, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really our last piece of like the arrival day or two, and we kind of already talked about like your sleep schedule is going to be funky. Sort of the next day, you're going to wake up early. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
And
It's not weird for me, but
yeah, Grant normally wakes up at like 4 or 5 a.m. when he's not jet lagged.
Yeah.
So his jet lag is like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is you're going to wake up at a weird time. It's probably going to be early. Maximize it. And there's kind of two ways you can do this. The first is if you're a Grant, use that time
To plan.
Yeah. This is how we wound up going to Disney Sea on a trip where we had not planned to go to Disney Sea in Tokyo.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
Man, multiple appearances today.
She's like, yeah, I'm needy.
Yeah.
The other thing, so use that time for planning. If you still are like, what's around? When
Find
do
some
things
restaurant.
open?
Like I found the Schnitzel restaurant in Munich at like 4 a.m. Yeah, I found some good research.
You find some gems
Some good
during your
research.
4 a.m. research. The other thing is, if you're Marissa and you can still cram in a few hours of sleep, you're getting up at like 7.
Yeah.
And what is really cool about this, especially if you're staying in a city, what's very touristy, so London, Tokyo, you can go do your walking and your sightseeing when everything's quiet.
Yeah.
So you can get really fabulous photos of things where no one's there.
Yeah, we've done like we went out really early in London the first time we went there. Like went down to Big Ben and like all of those sightseeing things. No one there, literally no one. And but if you go like a few hours later, you're going to be lining up to get photos. So it's like having them deserted. You're able to get all that stuff, and you get it done really quickly too.
Yeah.
Because you're not having that normal crowd situation that you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the other things that just came to mind waking up early was in Japan, we discovered that Don Quixote, which is a massive department store. It's a massive department store. We ended up going there on our not first day, but like the first full day. We ended up going there, I think it was at like 6 a.m.
We did. Do you see what's happening?
Yeah,
over
the cat, Ellie and the cat are playing.
They're sharing a chair.
We ended up going there at like 6 or 7 in the morning.
It was amazing.
It was open 24 hours a day, this store that I found this in my research early in the morning. That was like, oh, it's open. So like we ended up just getting on a train early in the morning, so it wasn't too bad. We then arrived at like in Shibuya, and like we went like across Shibuya Crossing with like barely anyone there, because it was like it was even before like work rush hour time.
Yeah.
And then went like wandering around this department store for 2 hours because it was quiet in there because no one was up yet.
Yeah. Although I will say it was the most underwhelming first Shibuya crossing anyone has ever had, because you hear so much about it when you're planning for Tokyo and you see all these like videos, and we went and it was like empty, and I'm like, this is just a normal crosswalk. I don't get what the big deal is.
But yeah, it was just a cool example of like sometimes there's things that like there's going to be some places you can't do anything until like, oh, hello, Albus.
Hi, Albus.
Man, all of the animals today.
I know. Last time we're like, oh, they were really well behaved, and now they're now they're just all making appearances except
Yeah.
for your angel child.
Because like some places, like I think we found a little bit in Norway where it was like some places, like it was even hard sometimes to find breakfast places before 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So like Scandinavia, I think was a little harder to be early risers, but we made it where like there was the train station had places that were open
like, coffee
earlier.
and stuff, yeah.
But yeah, obviously do your research. Some places are going to be better than others. Just plan to be up early in the morning because you're gonna wake up early. Or otherwise, because you also are just excited and like you don't want to sleep till like midday on your first day in a new city or country or whatever, right?
And your body's gonna tell you it is time to go.
Yes. They were the main tips, but we do have kind of like a little bonus, just like extra thing that didn't fit under the other categories.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about how we personally find it doesn't matter what direction we're flying. Flying to a place is always a little better. Like we end up like, I think it's just pure adrenaline and excitement. You're going to get over that jet lag pretty quickly. If not, you're just going to push through it.
Yep.
Right? We find jet lag hits us way worse when we come home.
Yes, 100%.
So, and we just anticipate being kind of just like out of it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Because one, you're kind of sad that you're not on the trip anymore. But two, like I think we probably aren't as strict about some of our rules going home as well. Like we'll hydrate and stuff, but
you're trying to get back into your normal routine to. And so a couple things is one, of course, this depends on your PTO and the amount of PTO you have if you've been traveling for a vacation. But I always, if possible, try and get like a buffer day. So either fly home on a Saturday, that way I've got Sunday, or if we're flying home Sunday, take Monday off. I don't always do this, but every time I don't do it, I regret it.
Yeah.
Just know, because you're going to be super tired. And there's, I think, also just like a little bit of like a little mini like depression when you get back home. You're like, oh, the trip's over. So I try and make sure I have like one buffer day before I go back to work. But usually I just kind of plan. I am very lucky. I can work from home, and I do work from home.
If you can, do a buffer day. I think sometimes even like sometimes it doesn't always work this way, but like a buffer weekend is even better.
Oh yeah, buffer weekend is the best.
You get back on like Saturday morning or something, and that way you like, you have the Saturday or whatever can be kind of like trying to get back on top of things, but then like you have a Sunday where you can like grocery shop and
clean your house, and
like wash all your clothes, like you can unpack, like all that stuff.
Yeah,
it actually does wonders to making your sort of getting back to.
And this is very specific. If you have like a corporate-y kind of job and you can pull it off, even if you have a buffer day or a buffer weekend, block your first day on your calendar so you have as few meetings as possible, so that one, you can catch up on just having been away from your job for whatever length of time, but also that way if you are feeling a little tired, a little mentally out of it, you're not having to like power through 18 meetings.
Yeah.
So that's like another tip coming back to real life. Just give yourself some extra time.
Yeah, but I think that's about it for our tips. Like, they're not perfect. Like, we still get jet lag, but that's what we do. We travel a lot. So, like, I think we've figured out little things to make it better. Yeah. Overall one is hydrate. I think
hydrate. That is if you take one thing away from this video, and if you sat through our shenanigans this long, and
drink water.
Drink water.
But yeah, hopefully some of these are going to be useful for you on your next sort of long haul flight.
Yeah.
Because they're useful for us. So hopefully they work for you too.
Yep. And that's, I think, all for today, right?
Yeah. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see our upcoming vlogs every Friday. We've still got a few more from our Germany Christmas market series. And next week's podcast is actually a very special one. It's going to be the end of the year. So we're going to do a little wrap up of our journeys this year.
Yeah.
What were our favorites? Like, what were the hits and misses of the year for our trips? And then also a little sneak peek at what we've got in store for next year. So definitely don't miss that one. But yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.